Could you please tell again your name?
Wallace Whalen.
Wallace Whalen. And you've been a member of VFW Post 358 since
1945.
1945. You said that you had joined the Tank Corps of the U.S. Army.
That's right.
And if you just want to tell again, you had received basic training where?
Camp Louisiana.
And from there you were dispatched?
Right, after training we went overseas from England
Yes.
all the way through to wound up and with a finish at the Roy River. It's between Holland and Germany. We're almost to Germany. That's where the Roy River is. They blew up 2 of my tanks. Blow up one, you get back into another if you're still alive. And then I jumped out and I crawled probably about a half, 3/4 mile to a foxhole. And then the sniper shot me in the head. They shot me 3 times when I was crawling in the leg.
Which leg was injured?
Right leg.
Right leg.
And my lieutenant and another private come along and picked me up and put me in an ambulance. And I wouldn't get in the ambulance. I couldn't talk after I was shot in the head.
No, I imagine.
And there was 3 Germans in the ambulance. That's why I wouldn't get in. So they threw them all out. They threw them all out. And then they took me back to a hospital, probably in Holland, I don't know where. And I had Dr. Kruger, who's the world's famous spine and brain specialist, operate on me.
So he operated on your head wound because the
On my
sniper
head wound, yeah.
had just, you said, the bullet skimmed your brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they tell me.
Kruger, world famous spine and brain specialist, did the surgery. Do you know about how long you remained hospitalized?
Oh, for years. I come back to, they brought me to England, of course. They fly you. I think I wound up in Ireland, and then they brought me on another plane to England, and I stayed in England for a long while. And then I took me back to Atlantic City, New Jersey. You know where all the big casinos are now?
Yes.
They used to be hotels. The Chalfontaine and Haddon Hall. We stayed in, and then to recuperate. Right across the street was the Steel Pier, which is owned by Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
That's interesting.
Yeah. They used to wheel us over there on wheelchairs.
I was going to ask how your leg was doing then at this point. What did the surgery
Well, that
involve?
one really wasn't. It was just skimmed my leg.
The 3 bullets just skimmed your legs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just put little holes, little creases across it.
So the wheelchair was needed as a result.
Made you crawl faster.
Make you crawl faster. Okay. But it was because you had to be in a wheelchair because of the brain surgery?
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, I couldn't
impeded your
talk.
mobility?
I couldn't talk.
Could not talk for how
And
long?
I was paralyzed on one side. Yeah.
Which side was paralyzed?
I couldn't, my right side. Couldn't talk. I couldn't talk much.
And at this point, how old were you?
I think I was, 21? 20
20 or 21?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Now, prior to the war, had you resided in the village of Ballston Spa, or where were you living at this point?
Ballston Spa.
You had gone to school?
Yes.
Malta Avenue School?
Yes. Chris Morley was there.
Was he in your, in
Not in my class, but he's 2 years older than I am, I guess.
So if he was 2 years older, he was born in 1922, were you then born in 1924?
24.
So you knew Chris Morley, but he was
I know him well.
Knew him well.
He used to run around with John Stafford, of course. I don't make any difference to you.
No, I'd like to have the name, please.
John Stafford. Him and Morley were buddies.
Okay.
Yeah. He used to work, Chris used to work at Millard Yarn Company. My father was the boss there. Him and John were always doing something. They were very aggressive. In school, they would plays, and he had to know everything, you know.
You mean Chris?
Very aggressive.
Chris Morley had to know everything?
Well, I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way.
Curious.
You know, he had to know how to put it together. And,
Oh, yes, I believe that.
yeah, he had to know how to put it together and why it didn't work.
Right, yes. That's right. And he never changed. He was like that to the very
You
end.
better believe it.
Who were some of the teachers that you had at the Malta Avenue School? Would you have had Mr. Bartholdi?
I had Hank, I had Mrs. Handern sisters, Leo Plant, Mrs.
Leo Plant, he was my biology teacher at the
Was
high
he?
school.
Leo was?
Yes.
Oh, he was something.
Yes.
Yeah, Down was wounded in the Second World War.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I know him.
Because he had the sisters. That
He died, didn't he?
Yes, he's also a chapter in this book. I might have read about him in
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I know him way back.
Okay.
Oh, no, I was drafted.
You was drafted.
I was drafted, I was GE.
You had been working at GE?
Mm-hmm. Short while, very short. I just turned 18, and they needed me. You know, everybody was in the service.
Yes.
And then I was just about that age, so they needed machinists. So
How did you feel when you received the notice that you had been drafted?
I had 3 brothers in service right then, so I wanted to be there.
Oh, could I have their names, please?
Oh, yeah. James, who was the oldest,
James. Okay.
John,
John
and Miles.
and Miles. Okay. And were they also in the Army?
My brother John was in the Marines,
John was a Marine.
and the other 2 were in the Army.
Well, your mother, at this time that you were drafted, were James, John, and Miles all actively in the service at that time?
Yeah.
So how did your mother and father feel about you
It was
going
tough. It was
overseas?
oh yeah, it was tough. Yeah, when they got the letter on me, it wasn't a good letter, you know. It was
No, that had to be
critical.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was critical. You know, they say your son has been shot and he's critically,
Oh.
you know, and they shouldn't do that.
Well, they got the news about your injuries in the mail.
Yeah,
Okay.
a telegram. Yeah, it's a telegram.
A telegram?
Yeah,
Now that had to be very tough for them.
yeah. My poor mother. Yeah.
But she lived to see all 4 of her sons come home
back,
from
yes.
the war? Are there any other children in your family?
Sister Rose, who
Rose.
just passed away this year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Great girl, 93, you know. Not bad.
Yeah, but still, you gotta miss
Oh, I
her.
loved her, you know.
Oh. So you came back to Ballston Spa
Yeah.
in 1945? Is that when you became a member of the VFW?
I assumed, and then I wound up in the Albany Hospital.
The VA hospital?
No, before that was built. They put me in the Albany Hospital.
So this is before, like Albany Medical Center?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were there for ongoing
Oh, a
recovery
long
of your
while. I
brain
really
injury?
don't know how long.
You must have had a very severe injury.
Oh, and then I had to go from there to the Bronx, down on Kingsbridge Road. That's where the zoo is.
Yes?
Yeah. I was there for a long while. And I still like it. I've been in.
So you had a very long road.
Well, I've been in and out of the hospital in younger days,
Wow.
and then I raised 6 kids.
Wow.
I got married when I was 18, I guess.
Oh, you were married before you went into war? And who did you marry?
And my wife, Betty,
Betty? What was Betty's maiden name?
Nutting.
So you and Betty raised the 6 children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you then working back at GE again?
Oh, no, I couldn't. There wasn't me in there. No, I done some building around here. Built a lot of Leahy Lane. I own Sunny Lane.
Sunny Lane.
Yeah.
That's where Mr. Crawford lived when I
Yeah.
interviewed him.
Yeah.
So you own
I own one.
you own the land.
I own that. I built a road that started that thing.
Oh, that's wonderful. Can you tell me about some of your memories of the early days when you joined this post, though? Were you one of the people who helped to come here and actually lay the brickwork?
I cannot take credit for that.
Can't take credit for building the...
Johnny Grady was one. I'll tell you
John
that.
Grady?
Yes. Yes, you know him.
That's my father.
Your father?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, John Dower.
John Gower?
The gentleman that was just here.
Oh, okay. He wouldn't
They're
give me his
all on
last
they're
name.
all on record here.
You had been meeting, I understand, in the building that is now the Front Street Deli. So I was wondering when and why the decision was made to build a structure.
They went over to the police department after that.
Okay.
The VFW. Yeah, they were out of there, the police department, I guess.
But basically, is it because the organization was growing, the membership
Oh yeah,
was...
sure. Well, we were down in the cellar on Front Street. You know where the park is?
Yes.
On the sidewalk, out in front.
Hmm.
If you look there right today, I even think, you can see where you can go down cellar. So there was a small cellar there, and there was World War I veterans there. No, there was no World War II veterans there when I joined.
So you had an opportunity to get to know some of the
Oh, I
veterans?
know most of them, yeah.
What were some of your
I say
memories of them?
Well, it was just it's amazing. I mean, they fought a tough war.
Yes, they
All the hand-to-hand and all that other business, you know.
Yes.
That is no joke. Yeah. You don't have any idea, probably, maybe you do in your business. You don't know how many people we lost and was wounded in the Second World War. You know, a lot of the kids I went to school with, and I used to play all sports, and they used to give my uniforms, you know.
Yes.
And they killed them, you know, and this dollar, you know.
So you lost many of your friends from your boyhood years and
so
your
many,
teen years.
So many.
Have you been to the memorial in Washington, D.C.?
I beg your pardon?
Have you been to the World War II memorial in Washington, D.C.?
I have been.
Have you? Yeah, it's beautiful. I was just there last week before.
So when you came back to the village, it was a lot different then, so you would see the families of your friends who had not come home. That had to be a very difficult time.
Yeah. You know, well, when I came back, there was nobody here that, you know what I mean, they were in the service.
Oh.
See, or they'd be working GE or something.
So the transition was difficult not only because you had the brain injury, but also because coming home, the village had changed.
Yeah,
And the people that you would have spent time with.
People that were watching kids ride downhill and skating rinks were supervisors in the town and the big shots of the village and the town.
Yeah.
circumstances when you did join the VFW post 358? Had you received an invitation to become a member, or had
My
you just...
uncle was in the First World War, Uncle Jim.
And what was his name?
James Whalen, and Undermark. I call him Undermark.
Okay. And so he issued an invitation to you then?
Well, yeah, he took me there.
Oh, he took you?
Yeah. Another uncle that was a colonel, Colonel John L. Drew.
Colonel John
L.
L. Drew, D-R-E-W?
Yeah.
And so because of the relatives in your family felt it would be important for you to become a member?
Yeah.
But you are an active member today?
Oh, yes.
Why is it important to you to remain an active member of this VFW post?
Well, I think they do a great thing for the people, for the veterans. It's like you send so much in every month for the disabled and the hospital and all that.
Of all your recollections of your time and your years with the VFW, what are some of your happiest memories of any of your experiences between, the 40s and today? What are some of your best memories?
We've had a lot of, we had this addition put on here. This little, somebody added some more on, so it was a little smaller than that, about half that. We had a ping pong table and a pool table right there.
Oh, all right.
And I used to love to play ping pong.
You did?
And we had a whole gang that used to come here and play, and they closed the bar some nights, and keep on playing, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Till 3 o'clock in the morning.
And then we get in the,
Can be addictive.
get the beer out in the cold, out in the snowbank. And then we had to pay for it next day.
Now, would this have been in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s? When?
I don't know. When the heck-
50s and 60s.
You remember when that
Yeah,
was?
50s and 60s.
Gee.
Do you remember how you raised the money that was needed to build this
Yeah,
structure?
50-50 club.
50-50 club.
We sold tickets. We sold tickets, and you got a prize. You won $100 at the end of the month, and $100 is a lot of money in those days,
Uh-huh.
And
Still is.
Still goes far some places.
Well, they had 200 tickets, and they were $1 a piece.
200
Right.
tickets.
$1 a piece. I remember this. I remember selling these.
Well, this is
$1
good
a
to know.
piece, 200 tickets, 100 went to the post, and the other 100 went to you.
What a great idea.
That is a great idea.
I can't remember.
Oh, I remember that. My
And so
father
you were
said,
coming
oh,
here as a little girl?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was just a
What is your maiden name?
Grady.
Grady?
Grady.
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 Okay. And you're like
God.
elementary school or younger? Or?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you remember the excitement then of getting
Oh,
the
yeah. My
funds
father,
together?
this is where they all hung. My parents
We used
came
to
here
have
for
parties here
parties.
too.
Well, tell me about the parties,
Yeah.
please. What were the occasions? I mean,
There was a keg of beer, I remember that.
there was always a keg of beer. But I mean, would they be,
There would be all the members in their families.
but would this be, for example, a Christmas party?
Oh yeah, they always had kids here.
Well, I mean, I've seen pictures of Mr. Morley in the Santa Claus costume.
Yes.
Absolutely. She could probably tell you more about the how that's arranged
Yeah, please.
for Christmas.
Yes, we used to do. Yes, they used to do it for the community kids, and what they did was they had a Santa, and then they gave at that time ice cream and candy in little boxes for the kids, and the kids would come and see Santa and get their picture taken and whatever. We did that for years, and then
Yeah.
then we even had like crafts and everything, and then everybody in the town started doing it, so we eased out, and then, but the firehouse does it, and so we backed off on that.
So when others in the community began to offer a similar program, okay. All right, so the Christmas party was a big deal, and what were some of the other big occasions throughout the year? Like annual events that you would have had at that point in
We had clam bakes.
And how often would they take
And then
place?
they built a pavilion out there, Then people would rent this place. They would rent, and they still do. They rent this place for so much, I don't know what.
For weddings or
And,
whatnot.
that makes it, fills up the.
That's an extra source of revenue? Okay. Now what about these, I heard a lot about chicken barbecues.
Yeah.
Do you not still have those?
Annual, yep.
So there's still an annual? And when does that one take place?
That's gonna be October 5th this year. It's always in October,
Always in October.
and then the ladies always do, at the same time, a bake sale for cancer, breast cancer, because it's breast cancer month.
So the Ladies Auxiliary at the same time does a bake sale?
Yes.
And that's been an annual tradition for how long, the bake sale?
At least 15 years.
At least 15 years.
I remember.
And what about the barbecue though? I feel like the chicken barbecue, does that
Been
go back
ever.
longer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, since you
Well,
guys
lots of
first
years.
started, yeah, I was gonna say even when I was young, so.
As long as I can remember.
Yeah.
So that might go back as far as the end of the Second World War? Who is the main beneficiary of the chicken barbecue, or does that change from year to year?
The chicken barbecue usually goes to whoever they pick that year.
Okay, so
Some
it
comes
changes.
some comes to the host, some comes to the auxiliaries, or in our case, everything goes to breast cancer.
From the Ladies Auxiliary it all goes. That's wonderful. Well,
And
now you
this
talk-
host every other year. We host the town. On Memorial Day, it's open to the public to come, and we put on hamburgers, hot dog. We put on a picnic for anyone that wishes to come here every other year.
So did that take place this year?
Yes. Were we host post? Pam, were we host post this year? Yes, we were.
So the next time will be in 2015.